Sandhan. All Gujarat integrated classroom.
Satellite na માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.
Hello, my dear students. So, another semester, another year is coming to an end. And of course, with that comes the examinations. Need you fear your examinations? Certainly not. You have been appearing for exams for the last 10, 12, maybe even 15 years if you are in your final semester, final academic year of your undergrad. It really isn't something that one needs to worry about, because if you are prepared, if you know how exactly to go about it, I don't think there's any reason to think of examinations as a big woogie boogie man. So what shall we do? In the lecture today, I'm going to try and take you through the process of preparing for an examination, and of course look at your general English and your core elective English subjects. I'm not going to look at individual papers, in fact, because I would think of this lecture as being useful for all students of all semesters. Of course, the thrust of my lecture is going to be on the English subject, whether it is general English or your core elective English, literature and language. So where shall we begin, my dear students? Let's go to the beginning and let's see what you should be doing before your examinations. Let's look at the first slide that we have for you. We are thinking of what you should be doing before your examination. So, what do? The first step, of course, is to understand what you are looking at. A thorough understanding of the syllabus. Yes, you should know what your paper is about. If not, how are you going to look at the examination? So, the first step, of course, before the examination, and I don't mean a day or a week before the examination, but when you think of an examination, the first thing that you should be aware of, that you should know, is what your syllabus is. So let me begin at the beginning. And therefore, the first thing would be a thorough understanding of the syllabus. Number 2, we are going to answer. But what are we going to answer? We are going to answer questions. So for each paper that you are preparing for an examination, I'm talking about the English subject, but it is true for any examination, not only at the college level, but all through your life. Whatever examinations, wherever and whenever you're going to appear for them, my dear students, remember that we must know what types of questions, long answer, short notes, answer in a word, answer in a sentence, answer in 1 or 2 sentences, multiple choice, what are the different kinds of multiple choice you might be asked. Remember, you should know all the types of questions that are likely to be answered in that particular paper. Questions which will be asked and which you will be expected to answer. Right? How do I prepare for an examination is a question you might ask yourself very often. Well, I would say you should look at the earlier question papers. Where do these question papers come from? Well, you can look at the university papers of earlier years, and most universities in our state, in our country, and all over the world have websites. And on their websites, they do put up question papers of earlier years, the previous question papers. So look at them. Some universities certainly have model question papers. They probably have question banks. It would be a good idea to look at those too. And then, of course, you must be able to get hold of question papers from other colleges. Of course, you certainly have friends in other colleges. So why don't you look at papers from other colleges? Because remember, it's not only your professor, your teacher, who is likely to set the paper at the university level. Yes, it's going to be somebody like your teacher, but not necessarily your teacher. And therefore, it might be a good idea to look at question papers from other colleges. I'm not suggesting that you should look at 100 question papers, but 4, 5, 6 at least would give you an idea of how questions can be asked. So remember, you can look at question banks, you can look at model papers, you can look at question papers of earlier years, you can also look at question papers from other colleges. And then I have a proverb for you, a proverb which you probably heard but haven't paid much attention to, and that is practice makes perfect. So why don't you sit down at your own free time in a quiet corner where you think you will not be disturbed, and it could be your library, for example. It could be at home. Why, I would even suggest it could be a nice garden where you have fresh air and you can concentrate, provided you are not one of those who get easily distracted by the traffic sounds around you. So sit down, my dear students. Take the question paper, a sheet of paper or a notebook, and a pen. That's all that you need, and a little concentration. And do try and attempt to answer the question papers that we have just collected. Why am I saying that? Because one of the causes, reasons, excuses that very often students have for not having got good marks is that the paper was lengthy. My dear students, let me tell you, no paper is lengthy, because the person who sets the paper keeps in mind exactly how much time you need for each question. And when I say you, I mean a person, an individual, a student of your age. How much time would you require? And then there is usually a little extra time also for revision. So what happens? Why is it that we say papers are lengthy? Probably because we have never attempted writing. And remember, if you have not written and you start writing only at the examination, naturally you write much slower than you are expected to be able to do at your age. So don't you agree with me? It'll be a good idea to have question papers, attempt to answer them. You might say, who's going to correct them? You can correct it. Or maybe the group of friends that you have, you can correct each other's papers. Some idea of where you stand. But more importantly, when you attempt to answer the question paper, you will know exactly how much you know. And shall I add, as an aside, how much you don't know? So, well, I couldn't answer the question in this particular chapter. So what do I do now? You ask yourself. And the answer is obvious. That particular chapter needs a little more revision. Well, tomorrow is not the examination because you've already started this well in advance. So go back to your textbook or to your class notes or to the notes that you've made or to the answers that you've written. Sit down and revise that chapter. That will give you the confidence to look at the next question paper and maybe attempt one more question paper. What have I been talking about over the last 5 minutes? What you should be doing before the examination, right? And now if we are ready, having done all that is expected of a good student before appearing for an examination, let's now go into the examination hall. We are already there and the question paper is given to us. So now we are in the examination hall. What should you be doing within the 3 hours or 2 hours or 1.5 hours or whatever is the time that is given to you for your particular paper? I'm talking about examinations in general. The same principles would apply whether you're appearing for your college examination or for the university examination. These points that I'm talking about before and during are common for all examinations that you might ever have to take. Remember, those of you who are in your final semester might be looking for next course of study. You might be expected to appear for some entrance examination. Why? Even if you're looking for jobs, there are many jobs for which you're expected to take a written examination before you reach the group discussion or the personal interview level. So when I'm talking about examinations, my dear students, remember these are all written examinations all through your life. So now that we are in the examination hall, I would think let us begin at the top of the slide that you have in front of you now. The most important thing, my dear students, is to be positive. Remember, if you are positive, half the battle is won. Okay? So once you get the paper, remember to have a positive frame of mind. And then I'm sure yours is the world. Read the entire paper. Now, the mistake that many of us do when we have to take an examination is to rush and begin writing with the first question. Not even seeing, maybe at the top of the question paper it says, answer any 5. And because you think you know answer question 1, you begin answering. Don't do that, my dear students. No harm beginning with the first question because you know it. Maybe you know it thoroughly. Maybe you know it best. But remember, it would be a good idea to read the entire question paper. Having read the entire question paper, looked at the options, whether they are external options or internal options, we come to a point where I cannot give a general rule. It would depend on the kind of person you are, the kind of student, the kind of approach, the kind of attitude that you have to an examination. What do I mean by that? You could begin with the easiest, or you could begin with the most challenging. Why am I giving these two options to you, my dear students? Because there are some of us who would love to begin with the easiest so that we get an idea, wow, I've done it. But then, when we move on to the more difficult questions, maybe, just maybe, my dear students, you are a little flustered. And remember, in an examination hall, the worst thing that can happen to you is to get flustered. Because then, that kind of nervousness may make you forget even that which you know very well. I'm not frightening you. I'm just telling you what I have seen, what I have known, what I've experienced through all these years of college teaching. So, depending on the kind of person you are, the kind of approach that you have for an examination, my dear student, begin with the easiest or begin with the most challenging. Don't spend too much of time deciding which is the easiest or which is the most challenging. No. One look at the question paper and I certainly know where I am most comfortable. Which question I am thoroughly prepared. Which question I know will get me the best marks in that question paper. Well, begin with that. The most challenging or the easiest, depending on your approach, your attitude. And then, my dear students, look at the next point that I have. Attempt all questions. Do not give up any question. Attempt all. Because if you write something, I can give you some marks. The examiner looks at your answer sheet and finds that you've written 2 pages, of which only half, maybe 1 page, maybe quarter page, maybe 5 sentences make sense. But then she going to give you marks for those 5 sentences or 1 page or whatever. But suppose you haven't attempted anything at all for a particular question, the examiner will be left with no other option but to mark you 0 for that particular question. Do you understand what I'm saying, my dear students? I want to repeat that. If you have written something, you can get some marks. If you have written nothing, you can only get no marks. So, do attempt all the questions. And then there is something which we must make it a habit of. And that I'm talking about is to revise. Do keep at least 10 to 15 minutes of the examination time for revision. What happens very often? Ideas come to us much faster than our hand moves, than our fingers move. And so what happens? Ideas are clouding my brain. I get so many ideas, but as I begin to write, something just slips out and I'm not able to. It could be something like saying, it is the most important. It is not the most important. And you land up writing, it is the most important. I'm just saying that such things could happen. There could be grammatical errors. There could be spelling errors. And remember, in an English literature paper, there's no space for spelling mistakes. And if you are going to spell the name of a writer like Shakespeare wrong, remember, marks are not going to be deducted for individual spelling mistakes. But the more red lines that I have, that the examiner has in the answer sheet, it's likely to get you less marks. So, a quick revision of 10 minutes of all that you have written can easily add another 5 marks, I think, to your total. So, are we prepared now to look at our English papers? Remember, and I'm repeating this, and I'm re-repeating this when I say all these are essential for any examination that you might take in the course of your life, in the course of your studies, in the course of your career. So let's go on now, my dear students, to look at English in particular. The next slide is about what we call general English, compulsory English, English language. Different universities of our state have different words. But what we mean here is not the English literature paper, which is an optional, which is a core, which is an elective choice for you in the choice-based credit system. No, I'm talking about the English papers, which every student of undergraduate courses, particularly BA, BSc, BCom, BBA, are expected